Infinity Fantasy is the name of our game. 16 teams, hopes and dreams of a championship to claim.
And we are finally back!
I got a boner.
Good.
That's right. We had a little bit of, let's say, some internal issues we had to deal with, and we missed 3 weeks on this podcast. We apologize for that, but all matters have been settled, and we're going to move forward. But we have one absolutely massive change to the format.
Infinity Fantasy is the name of our game.
I've been watching you all year, Donnie. When you hit that shot to beat Fairfield and you were jumping up and down in your little Larry Bird short shorts and sweating like a jar of pickles in the hot sun. God, that was so hot.
Is this really happening?
That's right. That is right. It is deserved. It is really happening. And holy cow, while we've been away, there have been some amazing, amazing games and amazing accomplishments. Nothing more than started from the bottom, hitting club not 700, not 800, not even 900, but hitting club 974. All I can say to that is absolutely total respect. We've been giving out plenty of respect on this podcast this season, but holy cow, this tops everything. And it's not just me saying this. We had this going through the league chat almost all weekend. We saw it happening in slow motion. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, holding on, seeing what was going to happen. And here you go. As soon as the week was over, you got the commissioner chiming in, 974. Has to be a record. Forget those extended weeks. Throw them away. Nobody cares about those things. But a good 7-day game, and 974 is a record for that. I have not vetted that, but I'm going to go with it because it's a better story than saying it might be a record. But anyway, you got Matt's Marauders chiming in. He's put together a formidable team. You got the commissioner coming back in, joking about steroids. Ha ha. Lunatics, again, more compliments. And then we have this from started from the bottom. The humility of this guy, the king, the champion, the top team in the league right now. The humility. He wins on the humility. What does this guy not have? He brings everything. Then we have this one next text. Look at this. The guy who sort of owned the first half of the season with that undefeated record, all this stuff going on behind me, he can't let it go away. He has to hold on to the past. So he wants to steal started from the bottom's glory by simply saying, not 1,000. You didn't make it, dude. You would have had trophy-worthy production, but Anyway, he was joking. But anyway, that's it. Everybody was moving that direction. This might be the biggest achievement so far.
New achievement! Reward? None! Ha! You are so dead.
And that is right. I have to agree. Started from the bottom. At this point, you've got a target on your back, and this is when it gets tough. Everybody's going to be shooting for you. What? Oh, look at that. Huh. Started from the bottom's calling. Let's. Oh, FaceTiming. Here, let me figure out this tech. Let me get it on the screen here.
Bring it on, bitch. Bring it.
Okay.
All right, well, I guess he's not afraid. What's next? We got a lot to go on this episode. Tons and tons of content.
What the hell is he wearing? What is that?
Oh, yeah. It's not Cardinals gear. We've got the USMNT. It is World Cup month. And I know a lot of you don't watch it. I know Zach's out there, oh, it's communist kickball. And that's all good. I don't care if anybody watches it. I am a passive, casual fan, but when my country is playing, I cheer for my country. So I'm pretty damn excited about what the USA is doing so far. What does that mean? Who cares? Why am I wearing this jersey? Well, because it is World Cup month, this entire episode is going to be done not in a baseball theme, but in a soccer, or as some people might call it, football. I don't call it football, I call it soccer. Anyway, some people might call it football. I call it soccer. This episode is going to be done in that theme. That doesn't mean we're getting soft, though. This is still going to be a no-holds-barred episode. We are not getting soft in this podcast.
Well, that's one way to issue a caution. Unbelievable scenes here tonight.
All right, so why don't we move on straight to the game recaps? We got to be fast on this one, folks. Well, we may as well stay with started from the bottom and make that our first game recap. And here, it was started from the bottom, taking on Joe Buck Yourself.
What are you going to be doing today?
Hit somebody in the nuts.
Francis hits harder than any heavyweight in MMA. It's insane.
Does Aaron know this?
No, I told Aaron it was a lightweight. I didn't tell him it was a heavyweight. Jeff and I forgot to mention that.
All right, he's coming, guys.
Yeah.
That's not a fucking lightweight. What are you guys talking about?
And let's go straight to some game film here.
Game was tucked in. I don't know what Ranieri was saying to him, but at some point he's got to close the border. He can't get out there. The cross is a good one, but what a header that is from Cristiano Ronaldo. The penalty doesn't get...
Yeah, the outcome of this game was started from the bottom one, 800. I did say an 817 to 671. Joe Buck scored 671 points. And after the game, this was what happened.
And it's finished. Antonio, it hasn't finished.
And you can't blame Joe Buck for being upset, right? You can't blame Joe Buck Yourself. He scored 671 points. That score would have beaten every other team in week 13 with the exception of Red Wine Redbirds, which ironically is the team Joe Buck Yourself plays this week in week 14. Anyway, let's move on. And moving on doesn't mean the next game. It means, wait a second, what did I say that score was again? 800, I did say an 817 to 671. That's right, 817. That was Club 800. So we have to, yes we do, we have to celebrate Club 800 and started from the bottom again. Lots of celebrations for this guy this week.
Good.
I've had better.
Really?
Now, this transition is going to suck because we had all that started from the bottom content, and now we just got to go through the rest of the games. And I'm going to go fast because we got to keep this podcast down under 15 minutes. So I'm going to keep talking like this really fast. No, I'm not. Anyway, our next game, I'm looking at the scores here because I don't remember the scores. Why would I remember the scores? Arizona Diablos Blancos beating Pagnosi's Poppers. Remember, Pagnosi's Poppers was a real contender, a top 5 team not long ago. And now ADB, a bottom dweller, is beating Pagnosi's Poppers 591 to 548.
All right, game point. Point. Woo! Good game. Catch you Monday. Wait, what?
And speaking of bottom dwellers, yeah, Aldi's Sour Grapes wants me to say nothing about bottom dwellers because the team at the very bottom of the standings, the team that hasn't beaten anybody since week 1, I'm pretty sure, I'm looking at the score here and I can't even believe it. Aldi Sour Grapes loses to the replacements by a score of 581 to a measly 528. Our next game pits the, I guess I gotta say, lowly teams. I mean, Lunatics are 9-17 now. They looked like they were going to be, they were putting up so many points, and their penalty was that other teams were scoring high against them. Now they can't score enough. Anyway, the Lunatics do come out winning over Juneau Eskimos 564 to 537. It wasn't pretty.
LaFrance. Two center backs being good tonight for Haiti. Oh no, look out! What a mistake! Can you believe that happened? Oh my word!
And here's another clip. Unfortunately, you can't see their faces because of all the armor, but yeah, this is kind of what happened. Lunatics wins.
KO!
All right, our next game was not lowly teams. These are two of the better teams in the league. And it was hashtag Lawless Bearded Dragons and Hit Pitches Get Bitches. Now, I gotta say, Hit Pitches Get Bitches has been getting so much better. And they are now, I would consider them to be a top tier contender. We'll get to that another day. But hashtag Lawless Bearded Dragons still tops Hit Bitches, 590 to 547. And the story of, you know what? I'm just going to go to some game film first.
What's he saying? It's a really good ball. It's Shabalala! Goal! Bafana! Bafana! Goal for South Africa! Goal for all Africa! Jambu!
And now we come back, and I want to tell you the story of this week, though, was Sunday. It looked like hashtag might actually lose, but Hit Pitches Get Bitches on a full slate Sunday only scored 12 points. You know, it's hard to be considered a serious contender when your team can only put up 12 points on a Sunday. But like I said, sometimes good teams lose. Our next game, I don't know what to say. You know, I still think this is my personal disappointment of the season. Team J to the P looked like they had done everything right in the offseason, the trade deadline last year, everything. But even then, Red Wine Redbirds beats them 714 to 371. Didn't even put up 400 points. That's just got to be brutal. That's devastating. Anyway, we're just going to get through the game film and move on. And this next game is Bat Flippin' Boys against Matt's Marauders. And Matt's Marauders hands Bat Flippin' Boys their second loss in a row. The first time they've had a back-to-back loss this season. And Matt did it in traditional Matt fashion. He, like we've seen in prior weeks on this podcast, always doing it a little bit different. I don't even know how you look at that and figure out who won. That was just ugly, bizarre, weird, but I couldn't pull my eyes away from it at the same time. I don't know. Anyway, like we say, good teams still lose. And I want to just reiterate one more time that Matt approaches this a little different than everybody else. All right, our next game is Raleigh Fingers Your Sister against Grip It and Rip It. Now, the story here should be Raleigh fingers your sister because they win this game 664 to 606. But it's a great win, don't get me wrong. But the devastation on this, I'm looking at the numbers here, and we have a 664 to 606. What's that, 58-point difference? The last day, on Sunday, Raleigh fingers your sister outscores Grip It and Rip It by 65 points. That Sunday, it all came down to that Sunday for a AAA team who's probably not going to make the playoffs. I'm just saying. Oh, look at Raleigh fingers your sister is calling. Another FaceTime. Let's see what's up with Zach.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
But to knock off Grip It and Rip It, who you'll see is a better team than you think, and I got some stats later to show it. Anyway, let's just go straight to the game film.
117th minute, Acosta hooks it into the traffic, a free header, and it's a goal! The United States has scored! Miles Robinson!
And like we've said, with hit pitches get bitches and bat flipping boys, sometimes good teams lose.
Oh, wait, hang on.
Well, that's it for the game recaps, and it was quite the week. It's been quite the week. So I'm sorry I missed some of those contests in prior weeks, but now we got to move on to the division contest where things have changed a bit.
Just a good old boy, never meaning no harm. Beats all you never saw, been in trouble with the law since the day they was born. Straightening the curves, flattening the hills.
All right, so this is the benefit of not doing a podcast every week. We actually get to see sizable change. There hasn't been a podcast since week 9, and we just finished week 13. So let's take a look. Here's where we stand with the divisions now. Big change after, 3 or 4 weeks. Look at this. Look at those points. Yeah, Eastern Division, 32,618 has crept by the Central Division. The Western Division, who sent out that original awful text, they're in third place. Like, they're not even in the contest, really. They're like battling AAA for like the AAA designation, it looks like. Anyway, Eastern Division takes over the points, takes over the gold medal, takes over first place on this category. Now, we get to the next piece, bonus wins. Well, here, Central Division's still topping everybody, 33 to 31. And then the also-rans are down there. I can't see that far down the list. So anyway, so you got Central actually topping the bonus wins category, which is very impressive, very impressive. Then we go down the combined playoff percentages. Now, if you remember, this is a little bit wacky. There's the average playoff percentage, and then there is the total combined playoff percentages of everybody. Again, here you got Central topping everybody there. This is mostly a Juneau Eskimo problem for the East. But you know what? You don't get to pick your division teams. So anyway, you got Central winning this as well. But I do want to show you one other thing. And this right here is our deciding factor. When we get down to it, you can see the Eastern Division has 3 teams that are 99%. They are 3 99%ers in that division. No other division has anything close to 3 99%. That's basically 100. You know, they just haven't clinched, so they can't say 100. But there are going to be 3 guaranteed Eastern Division teams. I look at these other numbers and I don't see anything that resembles anything close to that. Now, I'm not saying that other divisions aren't going to get 3 teams in the playoffs. They will. But right now, Eastern Division, and as a result of all that data that I just gave you, it is clear, it is crystal clear that the Eastern Division has moved in to the top divisional spot.
Just a good old boy, never meaning no harm. feet tall, you never saw been in trouble.
Now we move into the standings. And I know you can go to the website and see the standings, but this is where I show you what the real story behind the fictitious commissioner bonus win craptastic standings is. So let's take a look at the first thing here. These are our standings again, as if the rest of the world mattered. This is the standings as if Jared didn't think he had better ideas than literally every single sporting organization that has existed since the beginning of time, and undoubtedly the same way they do it on other planets, in other solar systems, in other galaxies, even through wormholes into different universes on different timelines, etc., etc. But we do it different, so I have to provide this to you separately. If you look at this, again, big differences when the podcast isn't showing up every week. We now have 3 teams at the top. You got started from the bottom, who has clearly taken over, but they're tied in a traditional format with Bat Flippin' Boys and Red Wine Redbirds. Hashtag Lawless Bearded Dragon way down there in 4th place. And you can go ahead and look at the other standings. Lots of ties in there. Lots of interesting stuff if you're looking at the playoffs. Right now on the bonus win, bonus loss, we've got huge divides. People have been eliminated, blah, blah, blah. But if you look at this, the green is everybody over 50%. And, you know, the bottom, the orange is, or whatever, red is everybody who doesn't have a 500 winning percent. Look at Joe Buck yourself. The guy's been doing well, but he is a sub 500 team. Crazy, isn't it? And then you got, you know, everything. Raleigh Fingers, your sister, above 500. Sitting right there with Grip It and Rip It and Hit Pitches, Get Bitches. You'd never know that looking at our league's website. You would never, like, ever think about that.
Oh, look, Zach is calling. That is unusual. I wonder what he wants.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
Anyway, you can look at this. There's some win-loss streak stuff there as well. Average score, high score week, you know, that kind of stuff. So anyway, a lot of data there. I'm not going to get into it. Let's get to everyone versus everyone, which is the next way to look at the data here. Again, top 8 teams are in red, bottom 8 are in red, green and red, whatever. But look at this. Again, podcast hasn't been around for a while. We got some big movement. Bat Flippin' Boys has fallen out of 1st place. Started from the bottom. Surprise. Hashtag Lawless Bearded Dragons way down there in 3rd place. And after that, I can't really focus. It's just too far down there for me to see without putting some glasses on. So you'll have to take a look at that yourself. But yeah, big movement there. Lots and lots of movement. Again, I'm not going to get into it, but that's pretty telling there as well. Now, I did want to show something else that I didn't want to do it too early in the season because I wasn't sure how relevant it was. Plus, it just was a lot of work and my interns suck and I didn't want to have to deal with it. But this is one of the outcomes of our 4-week labor negotiations is that they're going to start actually working and putting stuff together. So what you're seeing here is the 5-week rolling scoring average. So this is where I was saying earlier in the podcast, Grip It and Rip It is better than you think they are. Look at this. They are the 2nd place team when you look at the last 5 weeks. I do 5 weeks because I think that probably takes care of our 2 pitcher weeks. Like if you have a 2-start pitcher, it doesn't affect the 5-week kind of total. But anyway, you got started from the bottom, averaging over 700 points. Absolutely crazy. Grip It and Rip It, a better team than we thought. Joe Buck yourself. Look at that. Unbelievable. They're actually showing up on the podium here in the bronze medal for the 5-week rolling scoring average, but they're a sub 500 team. What do we do with that? What? I don't know. I have no idea. I know what Joe Buck would tell you. I know first he'd tell you to go Joe Buck yourself. Then he'd tell you he was the best team in the league. Then you got Red Wine Redbirds there at number 4. Bat Flippin' Boys at number 5. And then if you look way down there at number 6 is hashtag Lawless Bearded Dragons. And then you can go through the rest of the information on your own. You don't need me to sit here and read it to you. I got another fun thing for you. I don't know if y'all are familiar with the concept of the circle of suck, but it is something that leagues have done, at least on the internet. I've seen it there. And it's kind of interesting. Here, let me show you and I'll explain. Basically, this thing here is a depiction that lets everybody in the league claim that they can beat everybody else. It's a chain of like head-to-head results drawn as a circle where you show like Team A beat Team B, Team B beat Team C beat Team D, and then you go all the way around until you get back to Team A, who somehow also lost to the team at the bottom of the chain. It's a way for those teams in last place, or some of our worst teams in the league, to claim that they could beat some of the better teams, right? You know, so if Team A beats Team B and B beats C and C beats A, you know, you've got a loop there that proves everybody is basically the same. You know, what our commissioner always likes to say. So that's why they call it the circle of suck, is because, you know, when you look at it this way, everybody sucks. I don't know why they don't call it the circle of win or circle of awesomeness, because everybody's using it to prove that they can beat everybody else. Anyway, back to the circle. When you see this circle, this is basically your ammunition. And I'm talking to you, relegation guys. And you know, that this is your angle, right? This is where you bring it up and you're like, well, technically I have a win over started from the bottom, and you just trace the circle around. So, you know, it's a concept of, you know, kind of on any given Sunday kind of thing. But, you know, it is what it is. And I just thought it was kind of fun. We closed it on week 9 when ADB beat Bat Flippin' Boys, who had been undefeated at the time. But I just didn't even think of it until these last weeks that we were off. Something fun. Now, one of the things we got to do coming out of these standings is we need to take a look. I don't like to do this. Basement Gang's fun. But this one, man, this is serious. This is relegation. So right now, if the season ended today, what does our AAA league look like, AAA division look like next year? And remember, it's the 4 worst teams in our league. Now, the replacements, we saw weeks ago that they said they ain't leaving. I mean, they find the AAA division to be their home. But there is a lot of other people that are making a big push to be relegated into that AAA division. Let's take a look right now at the 3 teams that will join the replacements if the season ended today. All right, that now brings us to a new segment. And this segment is actually brought to us by a team owner. This is the first time that a team owner has come in and said they want to deliver a segment. And this is the segment, no, scratch all that. So with these teams doing so poorly, also when we looked at the game recaps, we said good teams also lose. So those of us who have shit the bed fairly recently, yeah, this. Now that opens the question, right? It's scary. Like, you never know when your pitcher's going to shit the bed or when you're going to have an off week and lose a game that's really important. The relegation guys, holy cow, that is a real big thing. The guys on the bubble of making the playoffs, that's a big thing. The guys trying to win their division so they get those formidable bye weeks and get an easier path to the championship. That's not as important as the others, but that's still relatively important. Nobody wants to shit the bed. Nobody does. But we have a special gift for you because the Juneau Eskimos have put together this little how-to shit the bed. Basically, different ways to shit the bed in fantasy baseball. Told to us by our league expert, Juneau Eskimos. it is time for the Power Rankings. All right, let's just do this. Let's take care of business. Basement gang time. Let's get that out of the way so we can get to the big questions at hand.
Yo, man, let's get out of here. Word to your mother.
As I've been saying this entire episode, there's been a chunk of time, almost a month since the last episode. So there have been some big changes. We've seen it in the standings, the everyone, the traditional standings. We saw it in a rolling 5-week average. We've seen everything change in these last few weeks. Does that carry over to the power rankings? What do my interns think? Do we see new teams entering the top 5? Can a team like Joe Buck Yourself, who is a sub 500 team in the reality, but a pretty good team on the average scoring? We saw Grip It and Rip It, who doesn't really seem to want to have a winning record that much, but they're the second top scoring team in the past 5 weeks. We've seen, teams Grip It and Rip It, Hit Pitches, Get Bitches. Bat Flippin' Boys just lost. Can a Bat Flippin' Boys who has lost 2 in a row hold on to their top 5 place? I mean, these are the questions. And I know the one question, the individual who, it's no longer Dustin. It's no longer ADB. The new individual who is constantly harping on the power rankings. Will he be allowed to be back into the top 5? Will the interns, will the algorithm, will the magic of fantasy math bring Red Wine Redbirds back into the top 5?
Wherever I go, I don't care if they love me or hate me because I love myself and I know that I'm the best player.
Anyway, let's just get to it. There are 16 of you, and Sophie Cunningham says any one of you could be picked to get in the top 5. That's what she says. Anyway, let's do it. Let's get to the number 5 right now. At number 5 is a new entrant. Yes, we have a new entrant coming in at number 5, already breaking the mold. Who's it going to be? It's Joe Buck Yourself.
I got the Lord. I got the Lord. I got the good Lord. It's going down on me. Down on me. I got the Lord. I got the good Lord. It's going down on me.
The good Lord is going down on you? What is that supposed to mean?
Yeah, we knew he would be happy, didn't we? He's been gunning for this top 5 spot for years, it seems. Now, coming in at number 4, we've got another new entrant. Now, this person's been in the top 5. I don't know if they were in our last run, but we'll just get right to it. It's Grip It and Rip It. That's right. You come in with the second highest scoring average over the last 5 weeks. You win some games. You put up some big points. Those catchers, holy Christ. Anyway, yes, you lost your week to a team that probably isn't going to make the playoffs. But you're in the top 5, Mr. Grip It. Excellent, excellent work. Now, coming in at number 3 is, we've seen them way down in the standings. Traditional, everyone versus everyone, rolling 5 weeks, way down in the standings. It's hashtag Lawless Bearded Dragons. I got a little excited there. That's 2 spots left. And I think we all who know who number 1 is probably, right? Or is there a big surprise? But let's just get to number 2, because I know many of you are sitting out there with just bated breath, right? Coming in at number 2, Another new entrant. And this could not make me happier. This individual, yeah, there he is. I'll just let him announce himself. Yeah, there he is. I'll just let him announce himself. And that leaves us with number one. And yes, you know who it is. Yes, started from the bottom.
Started from the bottom. Started from the bottom. Now we are here. Started from the, now we're king of the hill. Boots on the desk, boys, we're running this still. Top spot thunder, scoreboard shot. Now we're dominating the Infinity League. Taking over that #1 spot.
That's right, unseating. Hashtag.
The first thing I want to be done is to get that piece of crap out of my ring. Don't just get him out of the ring, get him out of the WWF. Because I've proved, son, without a shadow of a doubt, you ain't got what it takes anymore.
And I think as soon as he heard it, we got live cameras on him. As soon as it was announced, this is what we all captured on film. Serious talent. I mean, the guy is multifaceted and humble. What a #1. What a great representative of the Infinity League at #1. Well, that's it. That's your top 5. That's your basement gang. Let's take a look as we depart with our top 3 power rank teams. One last look. Very impressive, but as we have to say, sorry to those who didn't make it. Not everybody can be in the top 5, and there is always going to be some disappointment.
Just tell me it's not the end of the line. I never meant to break you.
All right, so that's the end of our power rankings. It's still a little bit too early, but I gotta tell you, I am also looking out to see what bandwagon I'm gonna jump on, right? Which of the moving trains. Remember last year, jumping on hit pitches, get bitches? Maybe the year before that as well, calling it early a couple years ago. Who's gonna be designated as this year's big old train leaving the station, the big old bandwagon?
Don't days like this make you feel like bursting into song? Somebody has to be the favourite, the one that everybody wants to see. James! Somebody has to be better than the rest. Somebody has to be so good that they're the best. Somebody has to be the favourite. Somebody has to be me. You're not the favourite.
Anyway, we'll get to that in a future week. Right now, nobody is an obvious bandwagon favorite, so that's it. We're going to shut it down, and we're going to move on. And now, typically this is where we wrap it up, but we have one more segment I'm adding, because this thing is a big old pile of steaming shit. May as well make it even bigger. Who cares at this point, right?
That is one big pile of shit.
Anyway, this new segment, we're wrapping the episode up with Who Plays Started from the Bottom this week. This will be a recurring segment as long as Started from the Bottom is exerting the dominance that they do. Anyway, let's just take a look at where this all is.
A census taker once tried to test me. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Yeah, nobody wants to play started from the bottom at this point. Nobody. One last look at what this week is. Coming into this week, this is where our started from the bottom opponent, Raleigh Fingers Your Sister. We're just going to go straight to the film.
They're gonna kill us, you know.
I'm sorry, you say something?
We're gonna get killed.
Oh, you don't know that for sure.
Yeah, I do. And it's gonna be awful.
That was fast.
Anyway, that's it. That's the episode. We're done with week 13. Moving into week 14. I wish everybody good luck. I wish my opponent, the replacements, good luck. I wish everybody good luck. Have a great 4th of July. Remember what the holiday's for. Yeah, I'm going to leave you with something that I've done every year around the 4th of July episode. And we'll get back to our normal post-credit stuff. But this is kind of an important holiday. So I'll leave you with one of my favorite songs of all time. See you guys next week.
I walked through a county courthouse square. On a park bench, an old man was sitting there. I said, "Your old courthouse is kind of run down." He said, "No, it'll do for our little town." I said, "Your old flagpole is leaned a little bit, and that's a ragged old flag you got hanging on it." He said, "Have a seat," and I sat down. "Is this the first time you've been to our little town?" I said, "I think it is." He said, "I don't like to brag, but we're kind of proud of that ragged old flag. You see, we got a little hole in that flag there when Washington took it across the Delaware. And it got powder burned the night that Francis Scott Key sat watching it write and say, 'Can you see?' And it got a bad rip in New Orleans with Pakenham and Jackson tugging at its seams. And it almost fell at the Alamo beside the Texas flag, but she waved on though. She got cut with a sword at Chancellorsville, and she got cut again at Shiloh Hill. There was Robert E. Lee, Beauregard, and Bragg, and the south wind blew hard on that ragged old flag. On Flanders Field in World War I, she got a big hole from a Bertha gun. She turned blood red in World War II. She hung limp and low a time or two. She was in Korea, Vietnam. She went where she was sent by her Uncle Sam. She waved from our ships upon the briny foam, and now they've about quit waving back here at home. In her own good land here, she's been abused. She's been burned, dishonored, denied, and refused. And the government for which she stands is scandalized throughout the land. And she's getting threadbare and she's wearing thin, but she's in good shape for the shape she's in. 'Cause she's been through the fire before, and I believe she can take a whole lot more. So we raise her up every morning, we take her down every night, we don't let her touch the ground, and we fold her up right. On second thought, I do like to brag, 'cause I'm mighty proud of that ragged old flag.